I think that the best piece of advice my dad has given me is that you can turn a hobby that you love into a career. He told me the story of how his current field didn't even occur to him for quite some time, even though he'd been tinkering with computers ever since he was a little kid. He didn't start on that path until a little ways through college, actually, and now he loves what he does. Now, in case it wasn't immediately clear, we're a couple of pretty cool hobby artists, which makes us prime candidates for jobs in the illustration and design fields. However, there is a lot of technical stuff to go over. It isn't all just inspirational quotes and something to do with our free time after all.
Character design. Based on our similarities in art hobbies, both Kathryn and I chose character design as our career choice. Obviously, character designers design and create characters that can be used in movies, TV shows, video games, etc. For example, Jason Deemer is one of the character designers who works at Pixar Animation Studios. He's worked on and designed characters for a plethora of Disney movies like WALL-E, Finding Dory, and Monsters University. There are many branches of character designers. Some could be illustrators, others could be animators, concept artists, or game designers.
You can find these people listed in movie credits all the time. It's a real shame they get overlooked. We'd actually need quite the skill set in order to get the position. Employers will be on the lookout for bachelor's degrees in art, animation, or graphic design. Not to mention the fact that we'll need knowledge of plenty of different pieces of software and sometimes even traditional art skills. Attention to detail, creativity, the ability to refine your work, and a unique imagination are all essential traits when it comes to this occupation. Another skill I think we'd need is the ability to emulate the art style of the production we end up working on or the studio we work for. Like this.
The average yearly pay for a character designer is $27,000 to $63,000 yearly. But if we somehow fortunately get into a bigger corporation like Disney or Pixar, we could be making hundreds of thousands yearly. The predicted growth rate of character designers through 2012 to 2022 is significantly smaller than other career rates. Multiple similar careers like web designers and computer network architects have a predicted growth rate of above 10% from 2012 to 2022, while character designers fall behind at 6%. Work hours depend on the deadline of a project. I'll try to explain in a way that makes sense. If a character design company was given a task and a certain due date, they need to get it done by that date, regardless of the time it takes one or all of them to do it. Typically, designers spend 35 to 50 hours working weekly, 60 if it's a bigger project or one that has a shorter deadline.
Every career path comes with its own set of challenges, which happens to be different for each person who walks across it. For example, I think that I would struggle with the communication aspects of my daily tasks. It's very important to be able to speak with whomever you're designing a character for, and I'm not the best at talking to people. Deadlines would also be a hurdle. They freak me out a little sometimes. I feel like I might have some difficulty getting along with the other people in my studio due to my generally reserved and nervous demeanor. I definitely need to get better at managing my time, too. I know I'll have to take all of this into account, but if this is what I end up pursuing, there is no doubt that I will work to improve, so that I'll work proficiently and do my company proud.
Like any other career, a character designer has to be timely and organized. Honestly, I can't say that I'm always organized, and when it comes to big projects or working in general, I tend to procrastinate. Like Kathryn, deadlines wouldn't be easy for me. Working with others isn't particularly one of my strengths, and unfortunately, working with others is required if I want to work in this field. But because I'd like to have this as a career, I'll have to get into the habit of being more organized, responsible with my time, and open to other opinions.
Jobs in character design can be pretty much anywhere, geographically speaking, of course. Essentially, anywhere there's an animation studio, they likely have a branch in this field, which leaves location as a pretty open and flexible part of the job. There shouldn't be all that much to worry about when it comes to crime rates, risk of natural disaster, or economics when it comes to where you are.
Before we wrap things up, we figured that we'd try our hand at creating a character of our own. We figured it would give us an idea of what a day on the job would be like, as well as just stand as a little experiment to exercise our creativity.
This is Kindle. She's, well, we're not really sure what she is, but her hair's made of fire. So as you can imagine, she's kind of a hothead in both senses. Her name is a little bit of a pun. It's like Kindle, but Kendall also. In addition to being hot-headed, she's also kind of shy. which is an interesting combination. We imagine her with the voice of a New Yorker, and she wears one of those newsboy caps. We put a cape because capes are cool. And over on the right, you can see the color palette we used.
I think it's pretty visible that we have the skills to work in the field of character design. Obviously, we can't get the job with just our talents. We'll need bachelor's degrees and skills with software. In addition, we'll need to adapt to our new environment by becoming less shy and more open and timely. All in all, character design seems like a fun and fitting career path for the two of us to take in our future. Thank you, and don't forget to drink water.